Got it. Okay. Hare Krishna. So we will start with the prayers. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruhu Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुसे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. We welcome you all for today's Be a Yogi morning program. So we will start the reading from 10th chapter, verse number 37. वृष्णीनां वासुदेवोऽस्मि पाण्डवानां धनञ्जयः मुनीनामपि अहं व्यासः कवीनाम् उष्णा कविः. Translation. Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudev, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjun. Of the sages, I am Vyas, and among the great thinkers, I am Ushna. Purport. Krishna is the original supreme personality of Godhead, and Baldev is Krishna's immediate expansion. Both Lord Krishna and Baldev appeared as sons of Vasudev, so both of them may be called Vasudev. From other point of view, because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, all the forms of Krishna that appear elsewhere are his expansions. Vasudev is Krishna's immediate expansion, so Vasudev is not different from Krishna. It is to be understood that the Vasudev referred to in this verse of Bhagavad Gita is Baldev or Balram, because he is the original source of all incarnations, and thus he is the sole source of Vasudev. The immediate expansions of Lord are called Swamsha, personal expansions, and there are also expansions called Vibhinamsha, separated expansions. Amongst the sons of Pandu, Arjun is famous as Dhananjaya. He is the best of men and therefore represents Krishna. Among the Munis, or learned men conversant in the Vedic knowledge, Vyas is the greatest because he explained Vedic knowledge in many different ways for the understanding of the common mass of people in this age of Kali. And Vyas is also known as an incarnation of Krishna. Therefore, Vyas also represents Krishna. Kavis are those who are capable of thinking thoroughly on any subject matter. Among the Kavis, Ushna, Shukracharya, was the spiritual master of the demons. He was an extremely intelligent and far-seeing politician. Thus, Shukracharya is another representative of the opulence of Krishna. Text number 38. Dandodam yatamasmi nitir asmi jigishatam Maunam chaivasmi guhyanam jnanam jnanvatamaham. Translation: among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment. And of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence. And of the wise, I am the wisdom. Purport: there are many suppressing agents, of which the most important are those that cut down miscreants. When miscreants are punished, the agency of chastisement represents Krishna. Among those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality. Among the confidential activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating, silence is most important because by silence one makes progress very quickly. The wise man is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior natures. Such knowledge is Krishna himself. Text number 39. Yacchapi sarvabhutanam bijam tad aham arjuna na tad asti vina yatsyan maya bhutam characharam. Translation: furthermore, O Arjun, I am the generating seeds of all existence. There is no being, moving, or non moving that can exist without me. Purport: everything has a cause, and that cause or seed of manifestation is Krishna. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Without his potency, neither the movable nor the immovable can exist. What existence is not founded on the energy of Krishna is called Maya, that which is not. Text number 40. Nanto asti mam divyanam vibhutinam parantapa esha tuddishtah prokto vidhuter vistaro maya. Translation: O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but mere indication of my infinite opulences. Purport: as stated in the Vedic literature, although the opulences and energies of Supreme are understood in various ways, there is no limit to such opulences. Therefore, not at all the opulences and energies can be explained. Simply a few examples are being described to Arjun to pacify his inquisitiveness. Text number 41. Yad yad vibhuti matsatvam shrimad urjitam eva va tad tad eva gachatvam mam tejomsha sambhavam. Translation: know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Purport: any glorious or beautiful existence should be understood to be but a fragmental manifestation of Krishna's opulence, whether it be in the spiritual or material world. Anything extraordinary opulent should be considered to represent Krishna's opulence. Text number 42. Atva bhunitena kim gyantena tva arjuna vishthabhyaham idam krishnam ekam shena sthito jagat. Translation: but what need is there, Arjun, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Purport: the Supreme Lord is represented throughout the entire material universes by his entering into all things as the Super Soul. The Lord here tells Arjun that there is no point in understanding how things exist in their separate opulence and grandeur. He should know that all things are existing due to Krishna's entering them as Super Soul. From Brahma, the most gigantic entity, on down to the smallest ant, all are existing because the Lord has entered each and all and is sustaining them. There is a mission that regularly propounds that worship of any demigod will lead one to the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the Supreme Goal. But worship of demigods is thoroughly discouraged herein because even the greatest demigods like Brahma and Shiva represents only part of the opulence of the Supreme Lord. He is the origin of everyone born, and no one is greater than him. He is Asamurdhava, which means that no one is superior to him and that no one is equal to him. In the Padma Puran, it is said that one who considers the Supreme Lord Krishna in the same category with demigods, be they even Brahma or Shiva, become at once an atheist. If, however, one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulences and expansions of Krishna's energy, then one can understand without any doubt the position of the Lord Sri Krishna and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all pervading by the expansion of his partial representation, the Supersoul, who enters into everything that is. Pure devotees, therefore, concentrate their minds in Krishna consciousness in full devotional service. Therefore, they are always situated in the transcendental position. Devotional service and worship of Krishna are very clearly indicated in this chapter in verses 8 through 11. That is the way of pure devotional service. How one can attain the highest devotional perfection of association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been thoroughly explained in this chapter. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan, a great Acharya in disciplic succession from Krishna, concludes his commentary on this chapter by saying, Yat Shakti Lesha Suryadya Bhavante At Ugra Tejasaha Yad Amshena Dhritam Vishwam Sa Krishno Dashme Rachate. From Lord Krishna's potent energy, even the powerful sun gets its power, and by Krishna's partial expansion, the whole world is maintained. Therefore, Lord Shri Krishna is worshipable. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of 10th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the opulence of the Absolute. So now we will start the next chapter, chapter number 11, the universal form. Arjuna Uvacha Mad Anugraha Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Samgitam Yat Vyaktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. Arjun said, by my hearing the instructions, you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects. My illusion has now been dispelled. Purport. This chapter reveals Krishna as the cause of all causes. He is even the cause of the Mahavishnu, from whom the material universes emanate. Krishna is not an incarnation. He is the source of all incarnations. That has been completely explained in the last chapter. Now, as far as Arjun is concerned, he says that his illusion is over. This means that Arjun no longer thinks of Krishna as a mere human being, as a friend of his, but as the source of everything. Arjun is very enlightened and is glad that he has such a great friend as Krishna. But now he's thinking that although he may accept Krishna as the source of everything, others may not. So in order to establish Krishna's divinity for all, he's requesting Krishna in this chapter to show his universal form. Actually, when one sees the universal form of Krishna, one becomes frightened, like Arjun. But Krishna is so kind that after showing it, he converts himself again into his original form. Arjun agrees to what Krishna has several times said. Krishna is speaking to him just for his benefit. So Arjun acknowledges that all this is happening to him by Krishna's grace. He is now convinced that Krishna is the cause of all causes and is present in everyone's heart as the super soul. Text number 2. Bhavapayayu hi bhutanam shatau vistarasau maya tatvatah kamala prataksha mahatmayam api chavyayam. Translation. Oh, lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories. Purport. Arjun addresses Lord Krishna as the lotus-eyed. Krishna's eyes appear just like the petals of lotus flower. Out of his joy, for Krishna has assured him in previous chapter, Aham Krishnasya Jagataha Prabhava Pralasya Tatha. I am the source of appearance and disappearance of this entire material manifestation. Arjun has heard of this form. Arjun had heard from this from the Lord in detail. Arjun further knows that in spite of his being the source of all appearances and disappearances, he is aloof from them. As the Lord said in the 9th chapter, he is all pervading, yet he is not personally present everywhere. That is the inconceivable opulence of Krishna, which Arjun admits that he has thoroughly understood. Next verse number 3. Evam etad yatha tathattvam atmanam parameshwara drashtum ichhami te rupam aishwaryam purushottama. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. Purport. The Lord said, because he entered into the material universe by his personal representation, the cosmic manifestation has been made possible and is going on. Now, as far as Arjun is concerned, he is inspired by the statements of Krishna. But in order to convince others in the future who may think that Krishna is an ordinary person, Arjun desires to see him actually in his universal form, to see how he is acting from within the universe. Although he is apart from it, Arjun's addressing the Lord as Purushottama is also significant. Since the Lord is the supreme personality of Godhead, he is present within Arjun himself. Therefore, he knows the desire of Arjun and he can understand that Arjun has no special desire to see him in his universal form. For Arjun is completely satisfied to see him in his personal form of Krishna. But the Lord can understand also that Arjun wants to see the universal form to convince others. Arjun did not have any personal desire for confirmation. Krishna also understands that Arjun wants to see the universal form to set a criterion. For in the future, there would be so many impostors who would pose themselves as incarnations of God. The people, therefore, should be careful. One who claims to be Krishna should be prepared to show his universal form to conform his claim to the people. Text number 4. Manyase yadi tachakyam maya drashtum iti prabhu yogeshvara tato me tvam darshyatmanam avyayam. Translation. If you think I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. Purport. It is said that one can neither see, hear, understand, nor perceive the Supreme Lord Krishna by the material senses. But if one is engaged in loving transcendental service to the Lord from the beginning, then one can see the Lord by revelation. Every living entity is only a spiritual spark. Therefore, it is not possible to see or to understand the Supreme Lord. Arjun, as a devotee, does not depend on his speculative strength. Rather, he admits his limitations as a living entity and acknowledges Krishna's unestimable position. Arjun could understand that for a living entity, it is not possible to understand the unlimited infinite. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite. The Yogeshwara is also very significant here because the Lord has inconceivable power. If he likes, he can reveal himself by his grace, although he is unlimited. Therefore, Arjun pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He does not give Krishna orders. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders fully in Krishna consciousness and engages in devotional service. Thus, it is not possible for persons who depend on the strength of their mental speculations to see Krishna. Text number 5. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Pashya me patrupani shatasho asta sahasrasha nana vidhani divyani nana varna kritani cha. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjun, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of varied, divine and multicolored forms. Purport. Arjun wanted to see Krishna in his universal form, which, although a transcendental form, is just manifested for the cosmic manifestation and is therefore subject to the temporary time of this material nature. As this material nature is manifested and not manifested, similarly, this universal form of Krishna is manifested and non-manifested. It is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky like Krishna's other forms. As far as devotee is concerned, he is not eager to see the universal form, but because Arjun wanted to see Krishna in this way, Krishna reveals this form. This universal form is not possible to be seen by any ordinary man. Krishna must give one the power to see it. So this universal form of Krishna is temporary. Universal form this. Text number 6. Pashyadityan vasun rudran ashvino murtastatha bahuna adrishta purvani pasyascharyaani bharata. Translation. O best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras, and all other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. Purport. Even though Arjun was a personal friend of Krishna and the most advanced of learned men, it was still not possible for him to know everything about Krishna. Here, it is stated that humans have neither heard nor known of all these forms and manifestations. Now, Krishna reveals these wonderful forms. Text number 7. Yahikastham jagat krishnam pashyad cha characharam mam dehe gudakesha yachanyad drashtum ichhasi. O Arjun, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything, moving and non-moving, is here completely in one place. Purport. No one can see the entire universe while sitting in one place. Even the most advanced scientist cannot see what is going on in other parts of the universe. But a devotee like Arjun can see everything that exists in any part of the universe. Krishna gives him the power to see anything he wants to see, past, present, and future. Thus, by the mercy of Krishna, Arjun is able to see everything. Text number 8. Na tu mam shakse drushtum anaineva swachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshu pashyame yogam aishwaram. Translation. But you cannot see me with your personal eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. Purport. A pure devotee does not like to see Krishna in any form except his form with two hands. A devotee must see his universal form by his grace, not with the mind but with spiritual eyes. To see the universal form of Krishna, Arjun is told not to change his mind but his vision. The universal form of Krishna is not very important. That will be clear in subsequent verses. Yet, because Arjun wanted to see it, the Lord gives him the particular vision required to see the universal form. Devotees who are correctly situated in a transcendental relationship with Krishna are attracted by loving features, not by a godless display of opulences. The playmates of Krishna, the friends of Krishna, and the parents of Krishna never want Krishna to show his opulences. They are so immersed in pure love that they do not even know that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. In their loving exchange, they forget that Krishna is the supreme Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the boys who play with Krishna are highly pious souls, and after many, many births, they are able to play with Krishna. Such boys do not know that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. They take him as a personal friend. Therefore, Sukdev Goswami recites this verse. Itham satam brahma sukhana bhutya dasyam gatanam pardevetena maya shritanam naradarkena sakam vijruhu krita punya punjah. Here is the supreme person who is considered the impersonal Brahman by great sages, the supreme personality of Godhead by devotees, and a product of material nature by ordinary men. Now, these boys who have performed many, many pious activities in their past lives are playing with that supreme personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.12.11. The fact is that the devotee is not concerned with seeing the Vishwarup, the universal form, but Arjun wanted to see it to substantiate Krishna's statement so that in the future people could understand that Krishna not only theoretically or philosophically presented himself as a supreme, but actually presented himself as such to Arjun. Arjun must confirm this because Arjun is the beginning of the parampara system. Those who are actually interested in understanding the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna, and who follow in the footsteps of Arjun should understand that Krishna not only theoretically presented himself as the supreme, but actually revealed himself as the supreme. The Lord gave Arjun the necessary power to see his universal form because he knew that Arjun did not particularly wanted to see it, as we have already explained. Text number 9. Sanjay Vacha Evam Uktva Tato Rajan Mahayogeshwaro Harihi Darshyam Asa Parthaya Paramam Rupameshwaram. Sanjaya said, O king, having spoken thus, the supreme lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjuna. Text number 10-11. Anek Vaktrananyam Aneka Bhuta Darshanam Anek Divya Bharanam Divyaneko Dayat Yudham Divya Malyambardharam Divya Gandhanu Lepenam Sarvashcharymayam Devam Anantam Vishvato Mukham. So from now on, Krishna is showing universal form to Arjuna. Arjun show in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding. Purport. In these two verses, the repeated use of the word many indicates that there was no limit to the number of hands, mouths, legs, and other manifestations Arjun was seeing. These manifestations were distributed throughout the universe, but by the grace of the Lord, Arjun could see them while sitting in one place. That was due to the inconceivable potency of Krishna. Text number 12. Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yogapat Uthita Yadi Baha Sadashi Sasyad Bahasastasya Mahatmanaha. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. Purport. What Arjun saw was indescribable, yet Sanjaya is trying to give a mental picture of that great revolution to Dhritarashtra. Neither Sanjay nor Dhritarashtra was present, but Sanjay, by the grace of Vyas, could see whatever happened. Thus, he now compares the situation, as far it can be understood, to an imaginable phenomenon, therefore thousands of suns. Text number 13. Tatraikastham jagat krishnam prabhavaktam anekadha apashyadeva devasya sharire pandavastada. At the time, Arjun could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands. Purport. The word tatra, there, is very significant. It indicates that both Arjun and Krishna were sitting on the chariot when Arjun saw the universal form. Others on the battlefield could not see this form because Krishna gave the vision only to Arjun. Arjun could see in the body of Krishna many thousands of planets. As we learn from Vedic scriptures, there are many universes and many planets. Some of them are made of earth, some are made of gold, some are made of jewels, some are very great, some are not so great, etc. Sitting on his chariot, Arjun could see all these, but no one could understand what was going on between Arjun and Krishna. 7. Okay, we will read this last verse. Text number 14. Tatha sa vishmayavisto hishta roma dhananjaya pranmay shirsa devam kritanjalir abhashta. Then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjun bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord. Purport. Once the divine vision is revealed, the relationship between Krishna and Arjun changes immediately. Before, Krishna and Arjun had a relationship based on friendship, but here, after the revelation, Arjun is offering obeisances with great respect and with folded hands he is praying to Krishna. He is praising the universal form. Thus, Arjuna's relationship becomes one of wonder rather than friendship. Great devotees see Krishna as the reservoir of all relationships. In the scriptures, there are 12 basic kinds of relationships mentioned, and all of them are present in Krishna. It is said that he is the ocean of all relationships exchanged between two living entities, between the gods, or between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Here, Arjun was inspired by the relationship of wonder, and in that wonder, although he was by nature very sober, calm and quiet, he became ecstatic, his hair stood up, and began to offer his obeisances unto the Supreme Lord with folded hands. He was not, of course, afraid. He was affected by the wonders of the Supreme Lord. The immediate context is wonder. His natural loving friendship was overwhelmed by wonder, and thus he reacted in this way. So, we will continue our reading what Arjuna says on Monday. So, thank you for joining very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.